Yo, Bheno, welcome to the Science Thesis podcast.
Just like
Keep the damn dog down, will you?
Greetings and welcome to our first podcast. Today we're going to be discussing controversies and conspiracies that surround the world right now.
so, hey, you recently went to America. How was it like paying 83 rupees for a dollar?
Thanks for putting that in. I totally did not tell him to do
He
it.
did.
I told him not to do it, but he still did it. So
He
I
did.
talked
He
about
wanted
it.
to flex to his
Sarcasm.
sticks.
Yes, to your. Anyways, so yes, I did go to the United States of America, the free land of the free and the brave.
You wish.
Allegedly. So yes, I did pay 84 rupees for a dollar. My parents went there 5-6 years back. They paid 65 rupees for a dollar. So yes, don't go to the US basically. It's very expensive. And why do you think
Rip your pockets off.
yeah, it did. We ran out of money. Anyways, why did you think this happened?
Basically, because of the strengthening dollar and the rising crude oil prices, India has to import a lot of their crude oil. So basically, now they have to pay more for what they actually did before.
But why aren't they using their forex reserves to stop this?
Yes, India does have $150 billion in forex reserves and they're continuously rising. So they can use that to interfere in the market by selling the dollar so that will, strengthen the rupee inherently. But they're not doing it. I don't know what they're thinking, the RBI, but they must have a good reason. I trust them.
They must be on weed, I guess.
No, they're not.
But I mean, why would they want their citizens to pay almost double the price?
Again, there must be a reason that
Must be a reason. What reason? They're exploiting their citizens.
they're not exploiting their citizens. Some things are not in their hands. Like it's a
But this is in their hands because they have the
Exactly.
forex reserves with them.
it's not in their hands when and how why the United States of America raised their interest rates, which is 85% of the reason why.
I think because of their economic recession and inflation caused due to the pandemic, they want their government revenue to increase as well.
I have a very strong opinion on this. I believe that the United States of America is a bully.
That it is.
I believe that for the inflation that's there in the United States, other countries have to
Import
Pay-
inflation.
no, they have to pay for it.
Exactly, that's what
Yeah.
import inflation is.
No, the way it works is dollar is a reserve currency. Like all countries hold the dollar. A lot of exchange happens over the dollar. So when there's economic recession, which is America's fault, they print more dollars inherently, lowering the value of the dollars held by India and other countries.
Yeah.
So they do shit, we have to pay for it. That's how it works, to put it simply. And I believe it's gonna change. So in the future, after what happened during COVID, the way they raised interest rates and basically
To curb their own inflation, they made the others suffer.
basi-
Even while the others were developing and the US is already developed.
to put it simply, yes.
Using their vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean they did pay like $3,000 to all of the citizens who needed it. They gave stimulus checks. I believe
$3,000.
yeah, $3,000.
But they also
2.4
ripped
lakh
women
rupees.
of their reproductive rights. They banned abortion.
Oh, thank God you added that. Ripped woman. Yeah, that's a very interesting topic, and it's been going around a lot. Vinayak, what are your thoughts?
Basically, some people actually support banning abortion, and I don't understand why they do, because why do you care so much what another person does with her body or whatever?
I mean, it's not only about body, it's the economic situation of that person too. A 12-year-old might not be sufficient to support her own self financially. How would she raise and give birth to a child independently?
Are you sure there's no age limit, like below?
There's no
No,
age limit.
no age
Abortion
limit.
is banned completely, whether it be a terminal pregnancy, whether it be a rape survivor, whether it be whatever.
I think
No
there
matter
was,
the age limit.
No matter the age
Oh
limit.
I
God,
think-
that's so stupid.
I think there was something like
There was previously, but that was
Oh.
overturned, and now it's a complete abortion ban.
No, a judge was trying to go after a doctor who aborted a 12-year-old child.
Yeah. So if you're watching are living in the United States, a thing you can do is that's a big stretch. But anyways, one thing, a loophole is to go to Kansas. Yes,
Yeah.
that is a place that allows abortion. The reason being, I mean, they're trying to overturn it, but the Supreme Court over there actually banned, like not allowing abortion, which is very difficult to overrule. It's going to take a long time. So that's
Kansas is a safe place for US women, like American women. But again, people living, America is a huge nation geographically. A person living in the opposite corner can't travel so much considering the economic inflation.
yeah.
Not everybody can afford it, right?
I mean, you are right. Yes. Okay, like cool. So I believe we agree that it's not good.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not good. We don't have any differencing opinions on that.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the conspiracy, the 2002 Gujrat riots.
Yeah, I believe everyone's excited for that.
Yeah.
What happened? Why was our current Prime Minister banned from entering the United States?
I'm not sure.
And termed as a terrorist.
Why
It
did
happened
everyone
20
term him
years
as a
ago.
terrorist?
It happened 20 years ago.
Exactly.
It happened 20 years ago, but I'm sure viewers that most of you are not aware of it because I don't know why it has not been portrayed in recent media. And
It has just been turned off by the government,
Exactly.
like buried under.
bold statements, but maybe, probably, I don't know. Anyways, what happened? Guys, what did happen?
So I think there was a lot of communal violence there was a lot of violence and that turned communal because I think the ratio of Muslims and Hindus time then was very different. There was a very big disparity at that time, and basically the government of Gujarat and the CM at the time, Narendra Modi, did not do anything about it. So like,
I mean, it was a metaphorical attack on the so-called secularity of India.
Exactly.
I mean, intercommunal riots keep on happening, but the reason they get stopped is when the government intervenes, the police intervene.
But there was no intervention.
For 7 days, the Hindu mobs were allowed to rape, they were allowed to loot, and they were allowed to do basically anything. It was like GTA in real life. Yeah.
without a question mark.
Next, the most interesting thing is there was a cop. His name was Sanjeev Bhatt, I believe, and he was the only one who filed an affidavit against Narendra Modi. What did happen to him? He resigned for I don't know what reason, but he resigned. He was
Was he paid to resign?
I have no idea.
Corruption.
He was the IAS or the IPS, I believe, and recently, interestingly, 2-3 months back, he was jailed.
What?
For charges that were put on him 22 years back.
So didn't Narendra Modi be jailed too? Wasn't he the reason it continued for 7 days because he didn't intervene?
You don't have filter. You don't have a filter, do you?
I know I don't.
Narendra Modi was
I don't
actually-
give two damns.
Narendra Modi was actually cleared of complicity in the violence by the special investigation team.
I mean, it's all in India. Internationally, the US named him a terrorist. They banned his entry in the country.
But still, he was cleared, and then he was allowed back into the US in 2012, I believe. Yes.
Because his political standing increased in India.
He
Even
was-
though he did not intervene and stop violence against Muslims.
he was CM at the time, so that has a big part in it.
I know, but it increased even more. He became Prime Minister eventually. He's still our Prime Minister.
Exactly.
That's interesting, actually. That's something for you viewers to decide on your own, I believe.
Yeah.
We all have our own opinions.
Unfiltered opinions. That's the real term.
Yeah,
Sam.
unfiltered opinions.
Controversial opinions or
Guys,
controversial
if this is our last podcast, you know what happened to us, okay? Should we talk about the secularity in our nation?
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
What is your take?
I think
It is not really a secular nation.
It is just a so-called-
Exactly.
it's not only India but France too. The hijab ban in France and the anti-Muslim riots in France are quite similar to the anti-Muslim riots that occur in India.
Have you heard of the Muslim concentration camps in China?
Yeah, the Rohingya
Exactly.
Muslims.
Damn, I did not know that.
They're actually called the detention camps, and the Chinese government overrules them by saying that they're just work camps. However, UN reports, the United Nations reports, and human rights watchdogs have stated that those are extremely brutal slave camps where
Ouch.
like the workers are not paid anything and they're given maximum 2 hours of sleep a day.
Work camps have never worked well. Look at gulags.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think the situations of
point.
Muslim in non-Islamic or in non-Sharia law following nations is really bad right now.
That may be a little big generalization, but I believe in India it is improving.
It is
I can see it
improving, but
improving. Like,
it is improving, but it is still improving. It's not taking it's taking not even a gradual, but a very slow improving down.
also, one more thing to notice is about the conspiracy we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Gujarat has a 11% population of Muslims, if I believe so.
Mhm.
And yet, this Gujarat has been dominated by the same party for the past so many years. So that also shows that even though this happened, probably most Muslims still voted for the BJP.
Because there's no other qualified leader.
Yes.
Exactly. I believe that is also a problem. I mean,
The democracy in India is like, especially the voting part of democracy in India is so weak because the number of qualified leaders or
Yes.
intellectual leaders is quite low. Even our own prime minister doesn't have a suitable degree.
Yeah, but this problem exists in like all other nations. Look at
See,
US.
Exactly.
Who are the presidents? Mr. 83-year-old person and an orange man.
Exactly.
the orange man is a good guy. I believe he is not understood correctly.
Who,
Who?
Mr. Donald
Trump?
Trump?
Yeah, I like that.
Uh-huh.
Would you have Trump or would you have Biden? Please tell me.
I would have Barack Obama.
Not an option. Anyway, avoiding the question exactly.
Probably
To
a
be
younger
exact.
person like who is
I mean,
not that old.
who
Who
understands
is probably not 80.
exactly who understands the further generation better than these oldies. They don't
Exactly.
even have experience.
We don't live in America. We don't care. I mean, we do care.
Our
do care.
leader,
But
our leader is like, what's his age?
70.
70
80.
exactly. He's so
but I believe the reason he is so efficient is because he has no wife.
What would a wife do?
Anti-feminist.
I'm not anti-feminist, guys. I believe
He
that.
has a mother.
That's good. I mean, he
So
wouldn't-
why not a wife?
So he focuses on his nation. His nation is his true love. That's what I believe. I mean,
His future wife.
according to all metrics, the GDP growth, the employment rates, India is developing faster
Faster.
than most nations.
True.
So all metrics, I believe, don't lie. So we do have a progressing nation under our capable leader.
We are better.
Capable.
We are better.
Yes.
We're
have a
better
standard.
off than when compared to the others, but
Like, give an example of UK. See what's happening there. They are actually-
exactly. UK is being ruled by an Indian leader, and not only that, but Indian GDP
You know, he's not
has
actually
surpassed.
Indian. He's some very old, I think, very.
His name is
His-
Indian, Mr. Rishi. Sun.
So
His
what?
parents or grandparents were from India.
I can be John. I can still be an Indian.
Exactly.
Name doesn't
I
matter.
know, but I mean, India's GDP at the point has surpassed UK.
The way it works is, if he wins, he's an Indian. If he doesn't win, we don't know him. That's how it works.
Exactly.
But again, Indian GDP has surpassed UK, and UK is a developed
I believe it's back again. I think it's.
No.
I mean, the fact that it's comparable, the fact that it ruled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even
A
after-
British colony is surpassing Britain, so that's a big
Previous
statement.
the reason why those European nations are suffering so much is the Russian and Ukraine war.
The,
Yeah.
Exactly.
the tariffs,
So what happened-
import quotas, all of that.
Yeah. So
But I think again, India's neutral stance on that war is a very controversial statement as well. It is not going against war, but it doesn't want to go against its fellow ally Russia.
Exactly.
I believe what India did was the best thing it could have done.
I know, but
It is stuck between a rock and a hard
Two
place.
things. No, two things. So firstly, it bought crude at a very low price from
From
Russia.
Russia,
That's
yeah.
good for us.
Yeah.
Basically. Secondly, at the United Nations conference, Russia was the one out of the big five. What are they called?
the P5.
The P5. That one of the only few that supported India actually joining the P5.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a responsibility as a friend to support our fellow nation.
Exactly.
What is your take?
Yeah, I mean, I do get that, but peace is above allyship, isn't
Exactly.
it? Human lives are above allyship.
India did. I think Modi did try to talk to Putin about this.
But
about
where
ending
does it lead?
war.
The war is still there.
But it cannot go
Russia is
against-
still invading Ukraine.
It
I know it can't go against, but I think more than Ukraine, Russia for India, it's torn between America and Russia. Because America has been supporting Ukraine all along.
So if you read the policies actually, the Donald Trump government is actually more pro-India than Joe Biden is.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I support the orange guy.
Why is he called the orange guy though?
He's on.
His skin is orange. That's all.
Racist. You guys are
How
racist.
is that racist? We are not discriminating against
It is
him because of
racist.
his skin.
Should I call you brown? And should I call Slicker white?
Think of it, she's correct. Yeah. He's a human, guys.
Exactly.
Even if he's orange, he's a human.
Yeah. And we like him.
No,
Okay, I like him.
you like him. Go marry him.
So,
I mean, he was banned off Twitter.
They were accused. He's back on Twitter actually.
But he did join Twitter.
He did
Even
join
if he was
yeah.
like anti-banned on it, he didn't join back.
He has
Because
done,
of his ego.
he has actually done a lot of scummy shit.
I don't know about that. Ego.
I mean, I know.
He has done a lot of scummy shit. Like he organized a beauty pageant for like teenagers. And this is like very true. Like minors probably.
Yeah.
And then when they were actually changing, he went in there. Like
It's very Donald Trump.
Exactly.
His wife. Is he a pedophiliac?
Okay.
serious accusations, but
I'm not
I
saying
mean, I'm
that.
asking, is he because his wife is comparatively
See, I
very
don't-
young when compared to him, probably
No.
30, 40 years.
It doesn't matter, it's fine.
Pedophilia.
It's
pedophilia
fine.
is fine.
I
Are you
mean-
dumb?
No, but like, he has money now.
Anything for the orange guy.
No, he has money. So,
So, does that overrule pedophilia?
you are not understanding what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
You,
you're
the viewers are
misunderstanding.
understanding what I'm trying to say.
No, they're not.
No one
Anyways,
is.
so I have
So
to.
please clear this up. No one is understanding what you're trying to say.
Pedophilia is not right, of course it's not, but
Then why are you supporting the orange guy?
there are many metrics to judge.
He's probably not a
politician.
pedophile. I don't.
Him.
His wife is 20 to 30 years younger than him.
Acha guys,
There can be a large age gap in relationship without
That's-
any
that's-
pedophilia.
that's what I was
But
trying to
what
say.
you said about the pageant thing.
It is. I'm trying to bring up points against him.
I believe he's somewhat a little bit unstable.
Exactly.
An example of that was he tweeted one day before, I believe it was a G20 summit, that we're gonna destroy China, something like that. And then he went to sleep, and there was chaos everywhere. People thought he's gonna launch some nukes,
Yeah.
something was gonna happen. Next day, he imposed some tariffs.
He has
That's what
said.
happened.
He has publicly said.
I'm probably paraphrasing, but I'm not sure exactly what he said, but something like this.
He has basically, the guy has basically said that whatever came to his mind during his presidency was law. He has said this before. And
Was?
law.
Law.
And have you heard of like he stole some nuclear documents and then he took to his house.
But there was something about him, his relationship with North Korea, the DPRK as well, right? Some ongoing feud.
You know, one more thing that I believe a lot of people believe is that if Trump was there, I believe the Russia-Ukraine war would not have happened.
Why is that?
Because the US probably would not have taken such a moderate and stance.
I mean, the war was imposed because Ukraine wanted to join NATO, right?
If
So
you-
the US doesn't have a stand in it. The US is just aiding Ukraine.
I mean, US
It's aiding Ukraine
Russia
could have
for
had a more radical. and
Russia
more,
does not want the
pro.
NATO territory in its backyard.
Exactly.
Yes.
if you come to think of it, all the three wars, the World War One, the World War Two, the current Russia-Ukraine war, have all been around that Ukraine area.
it has been all in the Asian Europe area.
No, specifically the Ukraine area.
Yeah.
They fought over these resources. Even Germany wanted to invade Ukraine, but Russia did not allow that to happen, as we later
I think the
uncovered.
USSR is broken up now, but Russia is still mourning the loss of its geographical land.
Exactly.
I mean, they have so much land, and they don't have a good good amount of population.
But that
so-
land, like the USSR land that was broken up, I think Ukraine and all of those are very like naturally resourceful rich because of the
Yeah.
crude oil.
they are very
and other
resource
natural
rich.
resources.
That's why.
So that is why Russia wants to hold on to them and not let go. But it's causing wars.
But unfortunately, this ended up imploding on the European people.
Yeah.
They had to pay more. Inflation was crazy high, like 8 to 10 times higher than it's supposed to be. That was crazy. That was because basically Russians said, "We'll give you the crude, but you have to pay us in rubles."
Exactly.
So if you check the graph of the ruble, it goes down when the war happens, and then like a week later, it's like back up, even though the war is continuing, and even though there was chaos. So Russia does have that power as of now,
Yeah.
fortunately or unfortunately.
But I think Russia is P5 because of that. Is a part of the P5 because it is a
Such a powerful country.
yeah.
I think Ukraine, European Union can just withhold a lot of money from Russia. I think they have withhold a lot of money from Russia.
They have
Because
imposed.
I think what the European nations did was they stopped international trade with Russia to prevent the war and to show they're against it.
And so what happened with Chelsea was that the owner, I believe it was Abramovich, he was forced to sell off the club for some $1.9 billion to a coalition of other companies. However, he did not receive those funds. Those $1.9 billion was not given to him, and the European Union was like, you can't take it. So he was like, okay, fine, I'll give it to charity. So he was basically forced to. Forceful charity is not charity, basically.
But why didn't he get his lump sum of money?
Because Russia invaded Ukraine, so they posed sanctions, and that's the entire story. It's kind of sad.
I mean, it kind of is. Like,
Yeah, it's very sad.
Chelsea is a big name, and $1.9 billion
That's
is
a
like
lot
a
of
small
money.
amount.
Yeah, probably earned that money through hard work and sad.
Who is in Chelsea again?
Huh?
Who is in Chelsea again?
Who is in Chelsea?
Yeah, who isn't?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So you watch football?
I'm kidding, I know, but
So who?
I don't like that club.
So who?
Liverpool.
Who is in
Chelsea!
I'm supposed to know this now.
No, you're not supposed to. Kitna bro? I know. I know.
Yeah,
I don't know
fine.
either.
I know Kante.
Yeah, three of the main players who I knew, they have been loaned out to other clubs. So that's like Timo Werner and all of those.
You can search, you know.
I'm
You
just
can
gonna
use the
sit here
laptops.
cluelessly. I have no clue.
Cut
about
that
what
last
you're
part,
talking
okay?
about. I'm not cutting it.
No, we'll record the Chelsea part again.
No!
I had a question, I believe. I'm sure you would have heard of none of those players, but the most famous ones are Mason Mount, N'Golo Kante,
I have no
Kante.
clue about
I know
soccer.
N'Golo.
Lack of information brings us to wrap our first podcast. We
Yes.
hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Also, one thing to add, I believe that we'll be releasing our Google Forms. So if you guys want to come on our podcast
Or write an article.
or write an article, please fill out those forms and let us know what you want to talk about and why do you think you are qualified to talk about it.
That is not in the form.
Yeah, we're not qualified either.
Good point. Bye guys, have a great day, good night.